in week 2 of the NFL preseason, the Baltimore Ravens defeated the Dallas Cowboys 31-13. They put belt to behind in that one. And it was fun to watch because all Ravens were literally dominant from start all the way to finish. They literally finished the game with a sack. But I'm here to share my post-game thoughts from the game that we all watched and we all enjoyed from our Baltimore Ravens. Before we get into it, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn all the notifications on so you don't miss a single update on our Baltimore Ravens, and also leave a like on the video. It helps out a ton. Shout out to everybody that was there in the live stream last night. We had a great time. I appreciate y'all coming out to watch the game with us. I appreciate y'all support, and I appreciate everybody that went to the game and was checking in from the game. Y'all are real for that. I really appreciate when y'all do that. Because y'all are like that, man. I appreciate y'all a ton, 1,000 tons. I appreciate y'all that much. Now, starting off, this was to be a bounce-back game from our backup quarterbacks. And I tweeted out before the game, I said, is Cooper Rush, is he going to score 2 or 3 touchdowns? I said, you know what, I'm going to be modest. I'm going to just go with 2 touchdowns. I'm going to say he gets 2 touchdowns. And, I mean, technically he did. One of them was just for the other team, so we got to clean it up. But Cooper Rush had a much better game than he had last week. And last week, he was only out there for 2 seconds. It was a kind of rough 2 seconds because he threw a pick in those 2 seconds, but 2 seconds nonetheless. So I figured with more time, more opportunity, that Cooper Rush would look a lot better. And in my opinion, I thought he did. The only times where he had his hiccup plays, well, you think about one of the interceptions. There was the pass rush that was in his face. And with a couple of bad throws from him, it was because the pass rush was all in his face. It was right there. He didn't have any time, so he had to rush the throw. But with LaJohntay Wester, the interception that he threw, it was intended for him, but it got pick sixed. LaJohntay Wester, he wasn't ready for it. Cooper Rush, he threw it a little bit early because he had the pressure. But then the other interception that he threw, it was where he threw it to Rasheen Ali. Rasheen Ali dropped it. So that was not on Cooper Rush whatsoever. Not, in my opinion, it really wasn't. That was more on Rasheen Ali than anything. But hey, it's preseason. Accidents happen. And with Devin Leary in this game, he looked a lot better. Once after the first drive, it started off rough. Because he wanted to be a little Lamar-esque because he had snapped the ball and the defender was coming. He was like, oh, I'm about to make this defender miss. He kind of stepped to the side, but the defender, he knocked that ball out. But Devin Leary said, you ain't about to make me drop this ball on the ground. So he fumbled it, but it never touched the ground. He picked it up, and Devin Leary took off. And he took off for 2 yards. But it was the sexiest 2 yards that you will ever see. So shout out to that boy, Devin Leary. But he almost threw a touchdown pass. He threw a beauty to Malik Cunningham. But it was just a little bit short. I know Malik could have came back to the ball, but Devin Leary could have also put it out a little bit more. But they were just off by that much. So he also looked a lot better in this game. Now, with backup QBs, because I know a lot has been made about Cooper Rush, especially last week. A lot was made about Devin Leary, especially last week. But I think it's important that when we talk about the backup QBs, it's a lot of context that goes into it. Offensive line is huge when you're talking about backup QBs. But even more importantly, especially for us as Ravens fans, when we look at our backup quarterbacks, automatically, and you may do it subconsciously, you're comparing them to Lamar Jackson. And what we see Lamar Jackson do literally every single week is not fair. It doesn't set anybody who's behind him, it doesn't set anybody up for success because of what Lamar Jackson does. And Lamar Jackson does it all the time. He makes it look easy. He does these crazy plays literally every single week. So us as Ravens fans, we have a certain standard of craziness that we used to seeing all the time. So if that standard of craziness is not met by a backup, whoever it may be, but especially at the quarterback position, then we start to get irate. We start to get frustrated. We start to be like, man, why is this guy not doing that? How's he not doing that? But it's because Lamar Jackson's in front of all these guys for a reason. Lamar Jackson is Lamar Jackson. He's one of one. So I think that's important when you think about how we judge these backup quarterbacks. And they are backup quarterbacks. I don't want to say they're backup quarterbacks for a reason, because I don't want to insult them at all. But they are number 2 and number 3 QBs on the depth chart. So they're there to support Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson is obviously QB1. That's our guy. So we'll be fine. But Cooper Rush, he ain't going nowhere. I know there's been some talk, we should go get another backup QB. He ain't going nowhere. Devin Leary, handpicked by T-Mark, he ain't going nowhere either. So those are going to be the guys for the Baltimore Ravens. Regular season is literally right around the corner. And I know we want to rep our squads the best way we possibly can, and that's why Chubbies is perfect for the job. Chubbies NFL game day gear isn't just comfortable. You can make a statement when you wear something like this. Because wearing jerseys is cool, and don't get me wrong, it's amazing, but wearing a polo like this on game day, it's elite. And as you can tell, these game day fit performance polos are on point. So I know you want to know how you can get yours, right? Of course you do. For a limited time, use our exclusive code Ingraven20 for $10 off at chubbyshorts.com/Ingraven20. Yes, that includes the NFL collection. Chubbies is an ultimate football apparel brand. So much so that they created their own fantasy football league. George Kittle, Ian Rappaport, and others have come together to assemble the Chubbies League on NFL Fantasy. Each week, the top 5 scorers will win a chance at a Chubbies polo and shorts combo with their favorite team's logo. The grand champion gets the chance at the ultimate fan experience. A 5-city, 5-stadium NFL game tour with a +1. While the fantasy flop faces a hilarious and unforgettable punishment that only Chubbies could pull off. Head to chubbyshorts.com/the Chubbies League to learn more and have some fun. And get ready for the most outrageous fantasy football season of your life. Instead of it being a fantasy, make getting this polo a reality. And I'm going to give you another reminder on how. For a limited time, our friends at Chubbies are giving our listeners $10 with the promo code Ingraven20 at chubbyshorts.com/Ingraven20. That's $10 off your order with the promo code Ingraven20. That includes the NFL collection. So support our show and tell them that we sent you. Express yourself and level up your game day wardrobe with Chubbies. Now, keeping it on the offensive side of the ball, let's get to our running backs because we could really, if the rosters were instead of 53 men, if they were at 65 men, maybe 70, or if they kept it at 90 like it is now, we would have 6 running backs that could all go. Derrick Henry, Justice Hill, Keaton Mitchell, the 3 locks, and then Rasheen Ali. Rasheen Ali, he really impressed me. Last year, I wasn't that impressed by Rasheen Ali. I was wondering, what do the Ravens see in him? But then this year, I've been seeing it. Rasheen Ali has been looking nice this offseason, this preseason. He has really been doing this thing. I think he's come a long way. He looks a lot more comfortable. And again, last year he was a rookie, so maybe it was just some growing pains and whatnot. But he has really been doing his thing this preseason. Now, when you look at his numbers, 19 for 62, he averaged 3.3 yards a carry. The numbers, they don't tell the whole story of how good he looked. Now, obviously, some of those numbers, they're not skewed because that is his average, but some of those runs, he got stopped right at the line of scrimmage. He got stopped behind the line of scrimmage. He got tackled for a lot. It would be stuff like that. That's why those numbers got brought down, but he looked really good. So shout out to Rasheen Ali. I know Harbaugh talked about how they're probably going to keep 4 running backs this year, and they kept 4 running backs last year. But we'll get into that a little bit later on throughout the week. Dearness Johnson, he was doing his thing as well. And again, he got plenty of starting experience in the NFL. He did for the Browns plenty of times. Also, Myles Gaskin, who the Baltimore Ravens recently signed, he also had looked good. And he ran somebody clear over. I said, hey, Gaskin, go cool down. Chill out there, buddy. Now, sticking with offense, some other people that look good, and they got much more of an opportunity this week than last week to shine, the wide receivers. I was so happy for them because last week they couldn't get properly evaluated because the QB play was really, really rough. This week it was a whole lot better. Tez Walker. Tez Walker, boy, he looked good, man. Tez Walker was doing his thing. He really was. Tez Walker was showing out, man. Catching everything thrown his way. There was one pass where it was an uncatchable pass where it could have been a touchdown, would have been a touchdown, but QB threw it a little bit high. Cooper Rush threw it a little bit high. I said, okay, that's cool. It is what it is. But Tez Walker, he looked amazing. And I just love when we hear about stuff. We hear, this player in training camp, he's killing it. Tez Walker has been that guy all offseason. But we've seen it get to translate to the field. So that's been a beautiful thing. He just continues to set himself up for, I don't want to say a much larger role this year than last year, but a larger role than last season. Than he had. Obviously, he got DeAndre Hopkins in front of him as that number 3 receiver, but Tez, he's going to be getting some opportunities for sure. Also, it was very, very nice to see Dayton Wade. He was getting in the mix as well, and I absolutely love that for him because we know it's going to be tough for him to make this roster. It's going to be very, very extremely tough. I think Dayton Wade will probably be a practice squad candidate, not because anything that he does bad, but just simply because the Ravens have so many wide receivers. and it's a good problem to have. But because they got, again, Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman, Tez Walker, DeAndre Hopkins, Tylan Wallace, right there. And then they drafted LaJohntay Wester. So, he's going to make it. He's going to be their returner. Nothing has been said yet by John Harbaugh, but he's going to be their returner. So that's 6 right there. They run a run-heavy team. I don't see them keeping 7. So Dayton Wade will have to compete with Anthony Miller, who, when he gets his opportunity, he'll be doing his thing too. He had to compete with Anthony Miller, with Malik Cunningham. And I think Dayton Wade would have a leg up on both of those guys. But I think it'll be more so for the practice squad. Again, only because of everything that he stacked up against as far as the number of receivers that they already got. But when he got his opportunity, he was doing his thing as well. Again, Anthony Miller, he got to shine. When we look at some of these numbers from the wide receiver, Tez Walker, 6 for 61. I said, oh, okay, Tez. Again, we've been hearing about you, but to see it was beautiful. Anthony Miller, 4 for 55. Anthony Miller, go ahead and show out. Dayton Wade, 4 for 45. See what I'm talking about? Last week was an anomaly of a game for them because they were doing their thing with their routes and stuff. They were getting open, but the quarterbacks just weren't able to get them the ball. Tight ends, Charlie Kohler, he was out there playing a lot. Scotty Washington too, but I mean, obviously he's going to play a lot. But the backup tight ends. But Charlie Kohler's been out there these past 2 games because Mark Andrews, he ain't playing no preseason. And Isaiah Likely, obviously, is still out. So Charlie Kohler, like, okay, cool, no problem. I'll be out there. I ain't got no problem with it. He's just out there grinding, out there blocking, out there making catches, just out there chilling, man. So he was doing his thing. The offensive line. Unless I missed it, well, I ain't see no issues from Daniel Falele. Now, Noteboom, ooh, boy, there was one rep where Noteboom literally got pushed on his behind. I said, ooh, yikes. That was a rough one. That was a rough rep. But again, it was one rep. But it was pretty bad. Then Ben Cleveland, too. Ben Cleveland, a lot of people been hyping Ben Cleveland. I'm like, hey, Ben Cleveland, he need to be a starter. He got pushed on his behind, too. Now, again, look, everybody loses. Everybody ain't going to win every rep. And there are going to be some reps where you get beat a little ugly. It happens. It happens. That don't mean you a sorry player. That don't mean you bad. You just got beat on that play. And it happens. Happens to the best of them. So those are just 2 rough reps. But the offensive line in this game, I can't properly judge them because it's not the starters. But they were up and down. The offensive line run blocking, they did their thing. I would say they were probably C plus B minus. Pass blocking, I would say probably like C minus. Yeah, see, I can't get him a D, but I'd say probably like C minus. Because they had some good moments, but then they had some rough moments too. So yeah, they were a little up and down. Yeah, the offense, this game, they, again, much better showing than last week. And I can't forget about Keith Kirkwood. My apologies. The receiver that caught that touchdown from Cooper Rush. And Cooper Rush, you know how Lamar Jackson, he threw the touchdown last year and he look away, go like that. But Cooper Rush, he was doing the same thing. But he did a free throw, but he looked at it. He made sure it followed through. He wasn't like, I ain't about to look away. I ain't doing that Lamar Jackson stuff. But he made sure that Christian Kirkwood caught it, and he did. So that was nice to see him get in the end zone. Special teams, he looking special again. That boy Tyler Loop, this game was a huge boost of confidence for him, in my opinion. And the way that it ended, I thought it was very, very important for Tyler Loop, especially after that miss, because he made his first, 4 kicks, and then he missed one. So he was 4 out of 5, and his last kick was a miss. But then they were like, nope, I love how they gave him another opportunity to kick again, and he could go into this week of training camp making his last kick in the last game that he played. And it was the same way last week. Because remember, last week he missed his first kick. But then they trotted him back out there, and he made his second one. So he got to go through this week leaving the game, making the kick instead of a miss. So I think that's just big for morale. It's big for his confidence. And Tyler Loop showed like, hey, I got a leg, man. I really do got a leg. Now, on the one kick that he missed, it went wide left a little bit. It looked like he tried to sort of curve it a little bit, but it curved a little too much. Looked like the Cowboys probably put the AC on blast for that kick, so I'm blaming it on that. But Tyler Loop, let's get it, man. Let's get it. Tyler Loop, obviously, is going to be our kicker. Ravens, it's just a mental thing with him. It's just a mental thing, just trying to prepare him as much as you possibly can mentally for the job. Taking over for Justin Tucker, again, we've talked about it numerous times. A lot of pressure on his shoulders. The weight of the world on his back as a rookie, as a 6th-round pick, rookie kicker. That's a lot, man. But Tyler Loop, like, hey, he got to make it happen. He got no choice but to. Now, for his kicks, he made a 29-yard field goal. He made a 36-yarder. He made a 42-yarder. Made a 51-yarder. Made a 53-yarder. So that boy, hey, it wasn't just a bunch of like short kicks. No, he made some long field goals there. The one that he missed was a 50-yarder. So, and it's gonna happen sometimes. Now, hopefully with Tyler Loop, somebody did make a good point in our live stream. They said, hey, with Tyler Loop this year though, it shouldn't be too many games where he's going to have to kick a bunch of field goals. He's going to be having to kick a bunch of point after touchdowns because that's how our offense should be scoring. But it shouldn't be too many games where he got to kick as much field goals as he did tonight. And I expect that to be true. But you know, there are some of them games sometimes where the Ravens offense, they struggle a little bit. But they just, it's a little bit rough sometimes and they not getting to the end zone. So they got to rely on the kicker a little bit more. But with Tyler Loop, stay ready so you ain't got to get ready. To the defensive side of the ball, where do I begin? Because the defense, I mean, I know it's preseason, but they were like lights out. They were really doing their thing. Keon Martin, who, you know, that poor Nate Wiggins don't play about him, but Keon Martin, a rookie cornerback / safety, I'm going to just call him a defensive back, that put 2 plays straight. One play, he was in the backfield, I think, tackling a running back. The very next play, safety. And it was him tackling Joe Milton in the end zone for a safety, a sack / safety, put up the Baltimore Ravens' first 2 points of the game, and it was such a beautiful thing to see. He loved it. But then it just kept going because Ruben Lowry, who we keep hearing about every single day in training camp, every single day, they say Ruben Lowry made this play, Ruben Lowry made that play, Ruben Lowry picked off Lamar Jackson, Ruben Lowry had this pass breakup. We hear his name so much, but we see why. We see why. When he made that pick, I said, hold on, is that Avery? I think the Avery come out of the top, but it looked good. And they said Ruben Lowry is extremely smart. They said he'd be playing cornerback. They said he'd be playing safety. Like, he's really, especially after that interception, really pushing to make the roster. He really is. So shout out to him. Jay Higgins, just continuing to do what he's been doing. Jay Higgins with some pass breakups. I think Jay Higgins led the Ravens in tackles with 6 of them, I want to say. Just continue making plays. Mike Green. Good old Mike Green. While he didn't really show up on the stat sheet, we just saw him in the backfield all night. We just saw him getting pressure all day. Mike Green just keep on doing Mike Green stuff. So he's going to be so crazy, man. He's going to be so crazy to watch in a good way. Malachi Starks, what I've been seeing the Baltimore Ravens do with Malachi Starks, and I appreciate it too. I ain't mad at it. What they will do, they say, Malachi, all right, you out there first drive, get like a tackle, get a hit, get something. Last week it was a tackle. This week it was the hit. It was a hit on that receiver, but Malachi Starks said, I ain't gonna hit him too hard. I'm gonna just give him a little something, let him know I'm in the building, and that's gonna be it. So Malachi, he hit that receiver, and if this was a regular season game, Malachi could have knocked him out. But he didn't. He held back. And then after that, they were like, all right, you're done. That's it for you, buddy. And we never saw him again. But again, I ain't mad at it. I ain't mad. You want to just leave him out for the rest of the preseason too? No problem. If we don't see him till Josh Allen and the Bills, no problem. Got a problem with that? That's cool with me. But yeah, Harbaugh, you just been giving him like one series, then calling it a day. TJ Tampa, this was not his best game. He gave up a deep ball on the sideline. He gave up a couple catches, I think, but just wasn't his best game. I think he was struggling in this game to really get his head turned around to make a play on the ball. But it was rough, man. It was a pretty rough game from TJ Tampa. Not his best showing at all. And who else stuck out to me? I know Okoye. He had like turned somebody around. He's strong, but he's just strong. He just straight up like he's a beast, man. Now I wonder with the Ravens defensive line, because they not like stacked. So I wonder if that could play to his advantage. Because he's been doing this thing, man. You keep hearing his name. So I wonder if he could push to make the roster. It'll be tough, but I wonder if he could push to make the roster. If not roster, then certainly they will have him on the practice squad for sure. So all in all, really good game from Baltimore Ravens on both sides of the ball. I can't forget about Chandler Martin and Kamen Rucker, them teaming up for the sack. Jay Higgins, he got him a sack as well. Then there was a forced fumble, and the Ravens recovered it. So the Ravens, they were all over everything on defense tonight. They were very, very dominant. But Ravens have been, as the preseason rolls along, they've been getting better and better because guys been getting more and more opportunities, more and more reps, and they just been looking smoother in the entire process. And this has been, somebody pointed out in our live stream, and I said this is such a great point. This has been a very exciting preseason for all of us because the Ravens just have so much quality depth. They got so much quality depth. So obviously we know about most of the starters who are going to be playing come week 1, but you got a lot of backup, second string, third string guys that could do some stuff. And they be showing themselves in this preseason. And that's what it's all about. So that's what makes the games that much more interesting to watch. But if you want to catch all of our best moments from the preseason that we enjoyed the most from this last game against the Cowboys, you can watch our video right here.